Nancy, PeruvianLifestyle.com. How are you today? Today we're talking about step 4, the 10 steps from Louise Hay's Learning to Love Yourself. Last week we spoke about the first 3. Today we're on to step number 4. Be gentle with your mind. Be kind with your mind. You know, I think for most of us, when we think about what we need to do to improve our health in general, I think typically our physical health is probably one of the most tangible areas of our life that we can get more in touch with. It doesn't necessarily mean that we reach all of our goals, but it's more tangible in terms of figuring out, you know, what to do, how to help ourselves, whether it's through, you know, nutrition, diet, exercise, rest, meditation, you know, whatever it is. And how many of us really spend the time thinking about recognizing and realizing the way in which we treat our minds? You know, we have the benefit of so much in our lives that we take for granted. And that includes, I believe, our physical health for the most part as well. And our minds, our brains are so incredibly powerful. You know, we're also so conditioned. We're so conditioned by so many elements in our life. You know, how we've grown up, the environments we've grown up in. And with that comes the fact that, you know, we have these 60,000 plus thoughts a day, most of them the same thoughts every day, and most of them somewhat negative, spinning around inside of ourselves all the time. But, you know, do you ever really take the time to kind of wonder how you're treating your mind? Do you ever kind of wonder, you know, what's going on up there, and are you paying attention and thinking to yourself, wait a minute, maybe I should be a little bit nicer to myself. So be kind to your mind. I think it's really easy for us to, you know, when we're having a difficult situation, or perhaps there's a problem that's come into our lives, or a bit of a circumstance, and we're thinking about it, and it's starting to bother us a bit, you know, we'll try to reach for that higher vibration, that higher thinking thought, so that we can get away from being so negative, and we strive for reaching for a more positive thought. Sometimes in that, it's not that easy to do either, because you'll find, I know I do it myself, I'll think, okay, stop thinking about that. Why am I jumping to a negative conclusion? Why am I assuming the worst? And yet, when I attempt to change it, you know, I get worse. I get into a bit of a spin, as I refer to it, and I start thinking more negative thoughts. And then I get mad at myself, or my mind gets mad at myself for not being able to come out of thinking negatively. So it becomes a bit of a vicious cycle. So what Louise suggests is to find an image, you know, to find a happier place, a happier image that you can call to mind as a way of being kind to yourself, as a way of being kind to your mind, as a way of being gentle with yourself. So if we're going to have these 60,000 plus thoughts a day, and we're already working and attempting to change and to become more positive, you know, let's be a little bit kinder to ourselves when we're not successful right off the hop. So in the moment of trying to change from a negative thinking thought to something that's more positive, if you're having a difficult time doing that, maybe try an image. Maybe try to recall or create for yourself, you know, a time, a memory, an image, a feeling of something that you've experienced, that when you find yourself having a negative thought and you're not being so kind to yourself, you can switch over. You can switch from the negative thought, and you can pull into your thinking something that makes you feel good, something that expands your heart, something that fills you with joy, and you can think, oh, wait a minute, for just this 30 seconds, I'm going to think about this instead. And that's a way of being kind to your mind. You're taking the pressure off. And remember, all of these steps they're a work in progress. You know, you can't change everything overnight. It's just another small tool to help yourself recognize that you need to be nicer to yourself, to be kinder to yourself. I have a couple of images that I switch over to. One of my images is the ocean in Mexico on the Caribbean side. It's absolutely drop dead gorgeous, that blue water and the heat and the waves crashing on the shore. Oh, just can't get enough of it. My second image is the image of my daughter Tina. My daughter Tina is the sweetest girl, and she has this way, she lays in bed, and she stretches her arms behind, and she interlocks her fingers, and she nestles her head into her hands, and she stretches out. And she has this look come across her face, just of an angel. She looks so happy. She looks so peaceful. She looks so content and so full of joy. It is truly, truly a moment of a person being in the moment, actually fully present in the moment, which Eckhart totally speaks to. And when I look at her, when she shares that with me, it just warms my heart. And she'll turn her head gently to the right, and she'll look at me and she'll say, "I love you, Mom." And there's nothing that warms my heart more than that. It's incredible. So what I find for myself when I'm starting to doubt myself, doubt somebody else, doubt a situation I'm in, doubt an environment that I'm in, doubt the outcome of something, start to second guess myself, and then I tell myself to stop doing all of that, and then I continue to do it, and then I tell myself, well, why are you getting frustrated at yourself because you're not stopping the behavior that you were trying to do? And I'm getting into this little crazy mindset. I draw that to myself. I just take a breath, and I see her beautiful face, and I imagine her stretched out and her head nestled in her hands, and then I feel that moment, the way she shares it and expresses it. She's so happy. She's so peaceful. And she's so content. And allowing myself to feel what she feels, allowing myself to visualize that image, and it's so clear in my mind, it's like I could reach out and hug her and touch her. And I feel her energy. I feel like she's right beside me when I recall that. That's my way of being gentle to my mind. And each and every one of us deserves that. Each and every one of us deserves the fullness of living every day and being kinder to ourselves in so many different respects and aspects of our life. And all of it with a goal and an intent of learning to love ourselves more. And when we learn to love ourselves more, we have more of ourselves to extend to other people, which is part of the purpose of our life, is to touch other people. I'm Nancy Battye, PureVitaLifestyle.com. Love yourself first, extend yourself to others. Thanks for stopping by. Make it a fabulous day.